Welcome back on this festive Wine Wednesday. We're feeling a little sparkly today, so we're toasting with the good stuff. We have our wine expert here, Lori Budd, and we're talking champagne.
Yes.
So I think one thing, a big misconception is that everything that's sparkling is champagne, but that's not true, right?
No, absolutely not. Champagne can only be made in the region of Champagne, France.
Right, because in France we name wines for the region, and there's a lot of exceptions, but Champagne is not one of those exceptions.
No, Champagne, there has been riots over the region. People have blocked, back in like 1910, 11 during the riots, people have blocked growers from their fruit, throwing it in the river. Like, they are serious about their region. And not only does it have to be made in that region, but it has to be made in a very specific way called méthode championne.
Okay, so we're very passionate about our champagne over there in France. And so what's the flavor profile? How does it get bubbly?
It is a very arduous task to make champagne. It doesn't just happen overnight, okay? And it starts off with blending a normal wine, just like everybody else blends wine. So we have with still wine.
Okay.
Once the still wine is complete, then what happens is they put this tirage in, and that's a bit of wine with sugar in it. And then they cap it.
Okay.
And this is the capturing of the bubbles. So they cap it with like a bottle cap. And during this time, it's lying down and the yeast are in there, and now there's more sugar. So it's second fermentation in bottle. And that's the important part, is that it must take place in bottle.
Okay.
So as the yeast are eating, the bubbles are occurring in the carbon dioxide is gathering in the bottle, and then we have to get the yeast out. So what happens is they riddle it. So they take these bottles and they start to turn them sort of upside down, and they hand turn it, or now there's machines that turn it, but they hand turn it, and what happens is the yeast find their way to the neck of the bottle.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Then what they have to do is they have to get that yeast out of there. So they freeze the neck of the bottle, okay, and then they disgorge it. So they pop that cork, the yeast go flying out.
Oh my God!
Along with some of the wine. Okay. And then what they do is they put the dosage in, and they're refilling it because they've lost a portion of the wine. So they're going to refill it to get to 750 milliliters. And in that dosage, that's where they determine the sweetness level of the sugar.
Oh, okay.
And now there is some confusion with that, because you think extra dry would be really, really dry. And it's not. It's actually quite a ways up the spectrum of sweetness. So if you want something that's super dry, you want to go to the brut nature.
Oh, okay.
Okay, or brut. Like extra dry is up there.
Okay, so very intense. This is a lot of work. Let's taste some of these. What's the correct way to open this?
Okay, so there's bubbles in here. Now these bottles are thicker than normal bottles.
Yes, they feel thicker.
Okay, and that's because of the pressure that's inside.
Okay.
So they're special bottles. You need to first remove the foil, and then the cage actually is 6 twists.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
Okay. Now you technically are supposed to leave the cage on while you do it. However, it does hurt my hand. Okay. So I take it off, but it can pop off. So that's why you leave the cage on. Yes, I've seen it
pop on or pop off before.
Right. Now you take a towel, you put it over it, and then the trick is make sure it's not pointing towards anybody. And you are twisting. You are twisting the bottle.
Right. And your hand is staying in one spot.
The hand stays placed. And the correct way to do it.
Oh, there we go. There's no big extravagant. Well, let's taste really quick. But you have another way for me to open a bottle.
So I have 2 bottles of Champagne Pommery here. And this is an amazing house. This is one of the oldest houses, and I'm giving you a big pour because this is really good. This is one of the oldest houses in Champagne, and it started as a wool house.
Oh, that's so good.
Right?
Yeah.
So it started as a wool house, and then Madame Pommery, when her husband took over, she really realized the importance of champagne, and she made this house what it is. She actually is the inventor of Brut champagne.
It's so like light and it's really good.
So this is a rosé. So this is of the 3 main grapes that champagne can be made from.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's really delicious. What is this one?
Okay, so this is their Blanc de Blanc.
Oh, same house.
Same house.
Same winery, okay.
So this house is actually found, she built the chateau.
Do we smell champagne?
You do,
Okay.
you can. She built it over 11 miles of chalk cellars. So there was all this chalk and she built the cellars.
Interesting.
11 miles of cellars that she was in charge of building.
Oh my God, that was really good too.
She was an incredible woman. So this is a Blanc de Blanc. This is 100% Chardonnay.
Oh, okay, yeah, I can taste that. I can taste the Chardonnay in there.
And the flavors come from how long it's on lees, which are the dead yeast cells.
Right.
The longer it is, the more baking notes you're going to get in a champagne.
Well, those are both delicious. Those are really good champagnes. We have another special tasting, little taste. Okay, you opened it the right way, but I think my favorite way is the sabering. What is sabering?
Okay.
Well, how did this come to be?
So sabering started supposedly back with Napoleon.
Okay.
Okay. So he supposedly he said, you know, in champagne, in defeat we need champagne, in victory we deserve it.
He was an extravagant guy.
Yes, he was. So he used his sword, his saber, to open bottles of champagne. So it is it's been around a long time, let's just say.
It's a festive activity.
It is. So the trick to sabering is super simple. 1, you just need to make sure it's super cold.
Oh, okay.
That is number 1.
Okay.
Okay. 2, you're going to you're going to remove the foil, remove the cage, and you are going to look for the seam on the bottle. And then all you're going to do is hit it. There's your seam.
Okay. And then I'm looking for
the bottom.
The weakest point on the bottle, which is up here. That is the weakest point.
You're going to make sure you're aiming it at nobody.
Okay.
And just.
I'm aiming it at the back of Ruben's head.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. 1.
And
you just.
Okay. You count.
1, 2, 3.
Oh my God! I was not expecting that.
See?
Look at that. Okay, happy Wine Wednesday. That's my favorite Wine Wednesday we've ever done. Lori Budd, thank you so much.
Welcome.
Sláinte, cheers. We'll have all the information about these bottles online. Everybody else, stay right there. We'll be right back.
Excellence in mind.